Welcome back to Sam's Rallycross Adventures in Dirt Form. My name is Ricky. Today, we're going to be taking on the Group B Rallycross Cup, for which I actually bought a car. Although for the purposes of this story, Sam actually borrowed the car from a friend, although I probably won't talk too much about that this week. We will, however, never ever be doing the cross kart challenge, because I actually did some playtesting of both of these to decide which one I wanted to do, and cross kart was so garbage, and I really didn't think you guys wanted to listen to me yell and throw my controller into the television. The Group B Rallycross Cup is 4 events, and we've only been doing 3 events so far, but those 3 events have been about 20 minutes. So I think what we're going to do is break this championship up into 2 weeks. So we'll do Norway and Sweden, and then next week we'll do France and England. And I think that's a great place to end it, because I'm pretty sure we're doing the exact same track in Sweden that we did last week, and it was utter garbage. So there could be a real fun cliffhanger right there. All right, here we go. Okay, so, couple things. We've never raced in Norway before. On this yet. This is the first time we've been in Norway. However, it was the track I picked, coincidentally, I promise, to do my testing of this car on, and it was raining, that is truly a complete coincidence, because I did pick random stage in the free play to do testing with what car I wanted to buy. Anyway, so hopefully we'll do okay. Also, there are 5 laps for the semifinal, and there have been 4 laps before. So, this may still be a decent length episode. Or, why? Literally no one else has done their jokers, and I can see them in front of me still. He's so pessimistic. Anyway, so I thought I'd talk a little bit today about Sam's team. So his engineers are, I've mentioned this before, but I'll go ahead and tell you again. They're Hank and Finn from Jamie's Adventures in Dirt 4. And they are... And then we have a third engineer named Zelda, who's from Switzerland.
Keep an eye out for a car on the line exiting the joker.
Yes. See, now that does worry me a little bit, because the guy in first place is... Also, I should tell you that I did adjust the difficulty for my training, but I did not... It is the regular same difficulty, which is just the second lowest difficulty. The second easiest difficulty. And I'm still sitting in 5th place, behind 2 cars that have already done their joker. So I don't really like my odds here. Anyway, so, but I thought I'd tell you a little bit about Hank in this.
Look out for slow-moving traffic.
Yeah, so by some sheer magic, I'm now in 2nd place. Now that crash did help, unfortunately. Anyway, so then I talk a little bit about Hank in this first event, and then I'll talk about Finn in the second event. But, so, Hank is in Jamie's Adventures in Dirt 4. Hank was married, he had 2 kids. He's not married in this universe, and I can tell you that's not gonna happen. But at least we will qualify. I mean, clearly Razor has souped up his car in a way that the Purple Dragons could not do. Anyway, so, but here's the thing about both Finn and Hank. They've known Sam for a while because they knew Sam when he was, 18 and making a name for himself. Which is part of the reason they're working for him now. 2nd place is still good. So, Hank... this is, just like in Jamie's Adventures in Dirt 4, Hank's first gig as as the lead engineer. He's never been lead engineer before. He's been lead engineer 0 times. He's been regular engineering in a couple of different places. A lot of different places. So, way back, when Sam was 18 and making a name for himself, Hank did not have an engineering job. In fact, actually, he just kind of knew a guy who knew a guy, and so he was able to sort of hang out with some of the teams in the backstage areas of these races, so that way he could potentially get a job.
Sixth position at the moment.
That was his goal. Oh, am I? Fighting for 6th place? On the plus side, the guy who beat me in the last thing is in 5th place. Which means that I beat someone who is ahead of me. Since there are 2 semifinal races, and the top 3 from each race make the finals. Anyway, so shortly after Sam's little meltdown and quitting, he actually did reach out to Sam to see what was going on there, because he genuinely wanted to make sure this kid was okay. Of course, I should tell you that I probably should have mentioned this already, but Hank is only 3 years older than Sam. So he was still a kid too, obviously.
Okay, focus, steady on, compose
Well, I'm
yourself.
trying to make a pass. I don't want to finish in 4th place. I certainly want to beat the guy who beat me in the last race. Okay, now we've moved into 2nd place.
Looks like where we'll end up once all drivers have taken their joker.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So anyway, Hank, he bounced around a little bit. He, shortly after Sam had his little meltdown, he did get a job, but it was a temp job because an engineer on another team took some paternity leave. And so was going to be out for a championship, so they hired him for a championship. And while he did a good job, obviously it was a temporary thing, and he knew it. He was just hoping it would get him a shot at...
Clear the joker exit, there will be a car merging.
I know. And... Oh! Okay, so this is going to be the tightest top of the race ever. So... Hank, he did get another job after that, right after that, and for another championship. Unfortunately, after the end of that championship, they had to let him go because of just some tight money issues and
Second place looks like
last in, first out kind of situation.
taking their joker.
You know, who's the newest hire, and unfortunately he had to go. So, he, oh, and I can hear Voss. I can hear him right behind me. Voss wants to get past me so bad. It's not going to happen. Or Sam, he wants to get past Sam so bad. So yeah, over the next 15 years, from the 18-year-old Sam to now 33-year-old Sam, he worked his way up. He had occasionally steady jobs, which weren't always occasionally steady. He did get, you know, he'd have 2 or 3 championships with the team, and then he'd get let go for one reason or another, usually financial, never performance. Like, it was never like, well, he's not doing a good job as an engineer. So when Sam started to try and make a name for himself again, Hank called him and said, "Hey, can I get a,
Well done.
can I have a job?" Because he was in the market for a job at this point. So that was actually pretty cool, winning that race. Just gonna say that right now. All right, now we're off to Sweden, which maybe also should be called hell. And we are back in Sweden. And Sweden sucks. I hate it so much. I hate the track. I hate everything about it.
Go, go, go.
I hate that it exists. I don't believe that Rallycross should exist in this country, in the Dirt 4 universe. Anyway, so Hank reached out to Sam and said, "Hey man, I hear you're starting a new team. Can I get in on it?" And Sam was like, "All I hear from everybody I speak to is that you are the guy to call for the job. So congratulations, man. You got it. You're my new lead engineer." And it's actually how Sam and Finn
Once the rest have done their
reconnected as well. Obviously, I mentioned that they knew each other beforehand. They
Okay, it's going to be tight near the Joker exit. Take care.
Okay. Well, especially if that guy's gonna hit the wall. So way back when Sam was 18, Finn actually worked for an event or two. I'm gonna get called for corner cutting. No. Okay, that was way too close for that to not have been called corner cutting. Just saying.
Find an extra 6/10 and we can make a position.
I mean, that's my ultimate plan, is to find a position or 2 or 5. No warning about the car on the exit there. And so Sam... So Finn is a good... Oof, come on. I hate that part. That's the part. I hate that S. I hate the S right there. That's or the reverse S, or whatever direction it is, because I can't think about that right now. So, Finn is 10 years older than Sam.
2 seconds and we can make a position.
Just FYI, because just in case you were wondering. So he was already quite established when Sam was making a name for himself. So when he worked for Sam's team. Did I mention that already? He worked for Sam's team for. Oh, but that's corner cutting.
Okay, these stewards are looking at whether you've gained an advantage.
I should be good as long as I don't corner cut anymore. So he anyway, so Hank reached out to Finn and said, "Hey, you remember that kid Sam from like 15 years ago? Because it's been 15 years. Yeah, he's back and he's putting together a team. I'm the new lead engineer. You in?" And Finn was like, "Yeah, I'm in." And he quit his current job with steady current pay that he's been in for 7 years to go work with Sam, because that is how that is basically Finn in a nutshell, is that he wanted to just work for this guy.
The stewards have chosen to take no further action.
Yes. All right. Here we are, back in Sweden. Final race here. Hopefully. Well, not forever, obviously. But, so one of the other guys actually took his Joker first, too. How?
You're under investigation by the stewards for exceeding track limits. You might get a time penalty.
I mean, seriously. Like, it's not even just that that wasn't corner cutting. It's that I actually couldn't even see the track.
Fourth place looks like we're
I definitely didn't gain a position or any time against any opponent, period.
Keep it calm.
Yeah. Well, tell the freaking stewards that they can bite me. Anyway, so Hank and Finn were rocking the engineer team, but they literally went to Sam and they said, "Dude, you got to hire another engineer. We think we can get away with 3 engineers, but we got to have at least 1 more engineer."
Looks like where we'll end up once all drivers have taken their Joker.
And he so he's like, "All right." So he went out and he hired a girl named Zelda Herzog from Sweden, Switzerland, not Sweden, Switzerland. She's Swiss, and she's done a pretty good job. I'll talk about her next week, and give you a little bit of insight into her and where she's coming from. But yeah, it really feels. I should say that Hank and Finn, even though they know each other, did not work together really at any point in either of their careers for any length of time for one event once. But of course, you know, engineers, they all know each other, right? Like, they're all they're all in the same kind of club. I hate this part right there. Have I mentioned that yet? I hate it. Oh, this track is awful. It's too easy to get corner cutting on this track because you don't turn quite right until the next one comes in. And I'm going to be so mad if I could call for corner cutting when I didn't gain any kind of position. I was still in 6th place, and I was still in 6th place. Like, I didn't start making waves until a little bit later. And I should point out, I'm still only in 3rd. Or Sam's still only in 3rd. I mean, there's a chance that next week we find out that Sam's actually been arrested for punching the stewards, but it seems incredibly unlikely that, like, he'll go to jail for murder or something, because that would end our series real fast. But certainly beating up one of them, really? Neither one of them had taken their Joker? That's not really mattering to me in any way, shape, or form, because, well... Hey, aren't those two the guys who beat me in the semifinals? I'm pretty sure that Werner is the guy who beat me in the first semifinal in the first event. And I'm pretty sure he did the really cheaty, I'm going to break off part of my car in front of you thing too. But I'm not 100% certain. I know it was a guy in a Razor car, but that doesn't mean anything because Razor paid a lot of money to DiRT to be in this thing, and like 4 cars are Razor cars. Well, at least it's only been the one corner cutting so far. Admittedly, the race isn't quite over yet. It's too easy to corner cut on this track. Ah, so frustrating. Okay, good. So those were the first 2 events in the Group B Rallycross Cup. Next week, we're at France and England. You know, we did better in Sweden than I expected. Admittedly, I still would have liked to have done better, but I'll take it. Not as big of a cliffhanger as I kind of expected with splitting it right after Sweden. This has been Sam's Rallycross Adventures in Dirt 4. Thank you for watching, and come back soon for more Dirt 4.